First, a quick note that I'll be moving into a new book by Stanley Hauerwas in the new year, and I'll put a note about that book in the show notes below. For now, I'm going to sum up some thoughts provoked by my recent study on Burke and by ongoing events. The tagline on my website is, "A site devoted to knowledge in the spirit of sharing, not perfection." This is probably one of the reasons some people like the channel, but also a reason why other people don't get it. I refuse to offer you a formula to solve all the world's problems, as though if people only understood my proposals, we'd finally be okay. One of the biggest takeaways from my study, not only of Edmund Burke's classical conservatism, but of many of the thinkers featured on this channel, such as Wendell Berry, Carl Jung, Charles Taylor, Mackenzie Wark, Walter Brueggemann, G.K. Chesterton, and Dorothy Day, is the value of humility. Humility is the mental position of being in between, and knowing one will never get out of that position alive. It's the idea that we're not nothing, and we are not gods, and therefore we can know some things, at least tentatively and partially, but we cannot and never will know everything. As we enter 2022, please try to think clearly about humanity's track record of improvement. We solve an incredible number of problems, but almost always without foresight. Our solutions cause more problems, sometimes bigger problems, and we lack the global and long-term perspective to avoid causing them. This is spectacularly true of the products of science and technology, but definitely also true of our political and administrative sciences. A position of humility doesn't mean we shouldn't try to do better, just the opposite. Only if we can, for once, get it out of our heads that we can find the one solution for all time, will we be able to move beyond the Enlightenment delirium that infects most proposals for solving problems. The same delirium affects the believe science dogmatist and the Facebook warrior, the virtue signaler and the virtue signaling censor. All of them think themselves far more in possession of wisdom and truth than they are. All of them would benefit from circumspection. Religion, rightly practiced, does put people in the in-between state, which is one reason not to scoff at it as though other positions are obviously better. But if you're not a religious person, the in-between state can be experienced through an honest, open-eyed assessment of the powerful forces still beyond our control and unpredictably arrayed against us. Coronavirus is the current unmistakable reminder of this, but all bodily disease and death itself should remind us of this. Natural disasters have abounded in recent years, and they are also a signal reminder of our relative place in the scheme of things. If you've had a derecho level your semi or a flood wipe out your home, you know that human beings have yet to conquer nature, despite technological fantasies such as fully automated luxury communism or taking our manufacturing waste into space. To be humble is not to be weak, or at least not weaker than we were before attaining humility. I would argue that humility is a strength. Humility tends to breed silence. It causes hesitation before speech. When we speak, we preface our remarks with an acknowledgement of their partial and dangerous nature. When we understand our true position relative to nature and nature's God, we feel reasonable awe and fear, and we stop going on as though we and our brilliance just need to be heard for the world's problems to cease. This is the hardest assignment of all, and the one that never ends, to know our place in the cosmic order. The Christian story emphasizes our true nature when it reveals God as someone who must stoop to the point of infancy to meet us where we're at and not overwhelm us. This winter, let's contemplate our own relative insignificance and how we can know ourselves better through this story, so that we can hopefully get out of our own way, at least a little.